The rain fell hard that night, tapping against the windows like tiny fingers. Alex sat alone in his small house near the city edge. Sipping warm tea outside, the street was empty, covered in fog. Everything was quiet until he heard it. Knock. Knock. He froze, eyes shifting to the door. It was past midnight, and no one ever came here this late. Another knock came, this time softer. Not loud, not urgent, but strange. Alex stood slowly, putting down his cup. He walked to the door and looked through the small peephole. Nothing. Just darkness, rain, and mist. But the knock came again, right below the peephole, as if from someone. Shorter, cautiously. Alex opened the door just a little, and what he saw made him step back in shock. There, standing in the rain, was a young alien girl. She looked no older than 20, her skin glowing faint purple under the wet light. Her long silver hair was soaked and stuck to her face, her eyes big, glowing, filled with sadness, met his. But what caught his attention most wasn't her beauty. It was the baby in her arms, wrapped in a strange cloth. The baby made soft sounds. The girl shivered and said only 4 words. "It's yours." Now, human then? She fell forward, right into Alex's arms. He barely caught her before she hit the floor. Her skin was cold. She was soaked, exhausted, and weak. Alex panicked. Hey, are you okay?" No answer. She was out cold. He looked at the baby. Its eyes were glowing blue and green. Its tiny fingers moved in strange patterns, and it looked straight at Alex, as if it knew him. Alex didn't have time to think. He pulled the girl and the baby inside and shut the door. The wind howled outside as if warning him. He carried her to the couch, gently laying her down. The baby never cried, just looked around with alert, curious eyes. He grabbed a towel and wrapped it around her shoulders. Her skin had strange patterns, bioluminescent lines like vines. She was beautiful, but not human. He turned to the baby again. How can this be mine?" he whispered. He hadn't seen any alien in months, not since the city fell under martial law. Aliens were kept in camps now, banned from entering human zones. So how had she come here? And why him? He looked around the room. Was this a trick? A setup? But nothing felt dangerous, only sad. Suddenly the girl stirred. Her eyes fluttered open. She looked weak, but focused. She whispered in a soft, alien-accented voice, "Protect him, please." Alex leaned in. "Who are you?" "Why me?" She blinked slowly. "They will come. They want him back." "Don't let them take him then." She passed out again, this time deeper, not just tired. Drained, Alex sat back, heart racing. He looked at the child. He wanted to deny it. He wanted to say this wasn't real. But somewhere, deep inside, something told him this baby was now his, whether by blood, fate, or something stranger. And outside in the shadows of the rain, something was watching. The next morning, Alex woke up early. The rain had stopped, but the air still felt heavy. Clouds hung low in the sky, and everything outside was wet and quiet. He stepped into the living room. The alien girl was still asleep on the couch. The baby lay curled against her chest, glowing. Faintly in his sleep, Alex stood there for a long time, just watching. He had so many questions. Who was she? Where had she come from? Why had she called the baby his? Most of all, what danger was coming? A few minutes later, the girl opened. Her eyes, she didn't scream. She didn't panic. She simply stared at Alex, as if studying his face. Then she sat up slowly, holding the baby close. "Do you remember me?" she asked softly. Alex shook his head. "No, I've never seen you before." She said nothing more. She didn't even give her name. She just looked at the baby again and kissed his forehead gently. Alex tried to ask questions. "Who are you? Why'd you come here? Why this baby? Why say he's mine?" But the girl only replied with short answers, or stayed silent at one point. She got up and walked to the window. She pulled the curtain aside just a little and stared out into the street. Alex noticed how her body tensed up when a delivery drone flew overhead. Her hand tightened on the baby. "They're looking," she whispered. Alex stepped forward. "Who?" "Eight." She didn't answer. Only said they always find what they want. For the rest of the day she barely spoke. She didn't eat much. Just fed the baby with a silver tube from her small bag. The baby drank slowly and glowed softly afterward. His body was part alien, yes, but also part human. That evening, Alex sat on the floor across from her. The fire from the heater glowed warm in the room. He tried again. "Please, just tell me your name." She looked into his eyes, and this time she spoke. "Nira." Alex nodded. "I'm Alex." A long silence passed between them. Finally, Nira spoke again. "I had no one else," she said, her voice quiet and flat. "They would never let me raise him. He is ... forbidden." Alex frowned. "Forbidden? Why?" She looked down at the child, brushing her fingers through his strange white hair. "Because he is hope." Alex didn't understand. Not yet, but something deep inside him, something human told him she was telling the truth, and somehow this baby was important, more than he could yet imagine. That night, while they slept, something buzzed outside. A tiny drone hovered near the edge of the window, almost invisible. It scanned the room in red pulses, then floated away in her sleep. Nira's eyes opened wide. She sat up, heart pounding. She picked up the baby and held him tight, then crept quietly to the window. She saw the drone disappear into the mist. She turned to Alex and shook him awake. "They've found us," she said, her voice cold. "They're coming." Alex blinked. "Who's coming?" Nira looked at the baby, then at him. "The ones who made him. The ones who want him back." Alex sat up straight, his mind racing. "Then we have to run." But Nira shook her head. "No, not yet. We move now, they'll catch us." She looked out the window again. "Tonight, we hide. It's tomorrow I tell you everything." And just like that, Alex realized his life had changed forever. He was no longer just a man living alone in the shadows of a broken city. It was part of something much bigger now, something dangerous, and it all began with one knock on the door. The morning was colder than usual. Alex sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the baby asleep in a basket. Nira had wrapped the child in layers of soft alien fabric. The glow from his tiny body warmed the room more than the heater could. Alex reached out and gently touched the baby's hand. The skin was soft, but not fully human. Small lines of light pulsed beneath it, like glowing veins. And when Alex touched him, the baby's eyes opened wide, glowing gold, every light in. The room flickered, the heater buzzed and shut off, and Alex was thrown back across the room, as if pushed by an invisible wave. He groaned, rubbing his chest. What the hell was that? The baby blinked a few times, then smiled. No crying, no fear, just calm. Nira came running in, eyes wide. "You touched him." Alex nodded, still shocked. "He did something." Like a burst of energy, he pushed me. She knelt by the basket, checking the baby's eyes, hands, breathing. Then she whispered, "It's starting." Alex stood up slowly. "What's starting?" Nira didn't answer at first. She just held the baby close, like a mother shielding her child. After a moment, she spoke. "He's not just part human or part alien. He's something new." Alex frowned. "You said he's mine. It can't be possible. I've never been with anyone like you." Nira turned to him, eyes sharp, not in body. "But your DNA was stolen, collected during the last war, spliced into a program." Alex stepped back, trying to process it all. "So I'm the father by force." Nira nodded, "And I was chosen to carry him. But I chose to escape." She looked down at the baby, smiling softly. "He doesn't belong to them. He doesn't belong to me. He belongs to himself." Alex knelt beside her, heart heavy. "But why me? Why now?" Nira finally met his eyes. "Because he listens to you suddenly." The baby raised his small hand, and the broken heater sparked back to life. Alex gasped. "He fixed it." "No," Nira whispered. "He commanded it." They sat in silence, watching the baby wave his hand again. A book floated off the table and hovered gently above them. Alex watched, stunned. "He's doing that." Said, but not fully. His powers are raw. Just then, the baby made a strange sound, something between a laugh and a hum. The light bulbs above them began to glow brighter, so bright that Alex had to squint. Then suddenly the power cut. Out completely. The entire house went dark. Alex grabbed a flashlight. That wasn't normal. Nira nodded. He doesn't know how to control it. If they find out he's activating, they'll send hunters. Alex looked at her, fear rising. Hunters. Nira stood, holding the baby tighter. They don't ask questions. They just take and erase. Alex rushed to the window and peeked through the blinds. Outside, the streets were quiet. But something felt off too quiet. He could feel it. Like pressure in the air. Then he saw it. A figure standing on the rooftop across the street. Not human. Tall. Thin. Wearing black armor that shimmered with each drop of rain. The figure didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just watched. Alex turned. Away quickly. Heart pounding. Nira, he whispered. They're already here. She closed her eyes. Steadying her breath. We have little time, she said. Tonight we must leave this place. Alex looked at her, unsure. Where can we go? She stared down at the child. Somewhere he can grow. Without fear, the baby let out a soft giggle, and the broken light bulb above them blinked once, then glowed steady, brighter than ever before. Alex whispered to himself, he's not normal. Then looked at Nira. He might be the future. Asterisk, the fire crackled softly as night fell again. Alex sat on the floor near the heater, watching Nira gently feed the baby outside. The air was still, too still. The shadowy figure on the rooftop had vanished, but the fear hadn't. Nira hadn't spoken much all day. But now, with the room dim and warm, she finally broke the silence. Her voice was low, calm, but full of pain. I never wanted to be a mother, she said. Alex didn't interrupt. He just listened. I was taken when I was 16. From a peaceful moon called Arentel, they said I had clean genes rare. Powerful, she paused, brushing her fingers across the baby's cheek. I didn't understand what that meant at first. They brought me to a lab, ... Floating in deep space, no sunlight, no windows, just metal walls and cold hands. Alex clenched his jaw. He could already guess what came next. They took samples from human soldiers, pilots, prisoners, men like you, and forced them into our bodies. Not by touch, but by science. I was one of 6. 3 died during testing. 1 lost her mind, but me. I survived. She looked up, her glowing eyes holding back tears. Then they told me I was carrying their perfect mix. That baby, she said, nodding toward the child. They didn't call him a child. They called him Prototype Zeta, the first weapon born, not built. Alex's chest tightened. That's what he is to them, a weapon. Nira nodded. They trained us to think of him as an object, till he kicked for the first time inside. Me, I knew then, he was something more. One night I escaped, she continued. There was a tech young kind, turned off the alarms for me. I stole a pod and fled to the outer systems, but they followed. Always. Nira leaned back, eyes distant. I landed here on this broken world because I heard Earth had survivors, humans still free. I searched for someone whose DNA matched the baby, and I found you. Alex blinked, confused. How? I never knew about any of this. Nira smiled faintly. You were just a soldier once. You donated blood to a clinic after a small injury? That's all they needed. The baby stirred. Opening his eyes, glowing softly, he looked around the room, calm but alert. As if he understood every word, Alex whispered, He hears us. Yes, Nira said. He understands more than he should. He feels emotions, absorbs thoughts, reacts with energy. He's not just a baby, Alex. He's a mirror of humanity in me. Alex sat back, stunned. I don't know how to raise a child like that. Nira looked at him, eyes soft now. None of us do. But someone must. Before they turn him into a weapon. Suddenly, the room dimmed. The fire flickered as cold air seeped through the walls. The baby started crying, not loudly, but with a strange vibration in his voice. Objects on the shelf trembled. The floor creaked. Alex rushed to the window, nothing outside, but Nira stood quickly, eyes wide. His panic is attracting them. They can trace emotional spikes. Someone's coming. Alex grabbed a pack. Where do we go? Nira whispered. The underground ruins, old human bunkers. I've mapped one nearby. Alex turned to the child, now softly glowing in. His blanket, he wasn't just a baby. He was a storm in disguise. A living code of two species, born to be controlled, now trying to be free. And for the first time, Alex realized something frightening. If the enemy gets him back, it wouldn't just end one planet. It could end the galaxy. Nira picked up the child, kissed his forehead, and said softly, "We will protect you, Kael." Alex turned, surprised. "Kael." She smiled. "It means born of stars in my language." The baby smiled back his glow, softening again, and in that moment, Alex felt something new inside him. Not just duty, not just fear. Hope. Night returned like a shadow, heavy and slow. Alex stood by the window. Staring into the foggy street, he could feel something in the air, too quiet, too still. Inside, Nira whispered lullabies to the baby, her voice trembling slightly. Alex had boarded up the back door and packed 2 bags. Food, water, blankets, batteries. His heart beat faster with every tick of the clock. He wasn't sure what they were running from him. Lane, then a sound. Thud, 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 thud. Not at the front door, not from the roof, but beneath the floor. Alex turned sharply. "Did you hear that?" Nira nodded slowly, standing with the baby in her arms. "It's them," she whispered. "They found us." The floor shook again, lightly, like footsteps in the deep. Alex reached under the couch and pulled out an old plasma pistol, barely charged. He had kept it from his soldier days, more for memory than defense. Now, it was their only protection. The wall-mounted screen flickered on, no signal, just static. Then a voice spoke, smooth and deep. "Surrender the child, and you will not be harmed." Alex looked at Nira. "How do they know our signal?" "They don't need it," she said, clutching the baby tighter. "They speak through tech." Through power itself. The lights dimmed. The heater turned off. The baby started to whimper, not in fear, but in anger suddenly. The bookshelf behind them burst into flames. Alex jumped up, swearing. Nira didn't flinch. She whispered to the child, "Control it, Kael. Breathe. Listen to me." The flames stopped, vanished in an instant, but smoke filled the room. They had no more time. "Out the back," Alex ordered. He grabbed the baby bag. Nira wrapped Kael tight in her arms. Together, they pushed open the hidden cellar door under the rug. A tunnel waited, bellow dark, damp, built long ago by human rebels. They entered it quickly, sealing the hatch above them. The cold stone path led under the city, but something else moved in the dark with them. Echoes followed their footsteps, mechanical, heavy. Not like boots, like claws. Nira held her breath. "They sent hunters," she said softly. "Only one," Alex whispered. "How do you know?" She closed her eyes. "Because I trained with her. Before I ran, they moved fast through the tunnels." Kael glowing in Nira's arms like a soft lantern every few meters. Old wires sparked as he passed, lights reacting to his presence. Alex looked behind every turn, gun ready. Then suddenly a noise from above. A hole in the ceiling burst open. Something dropped into the tunnel. She was tall, armored head to toe in sleek black metal. Her face was covered, but her voice echoed clear. "Nira of Arantel. You are ordered to surrender the prototype." Alex aimed his pistol. "You'll have to go through me first." The hunter tilted her head. "You are not part of this." Human Nira stepped forward, her voice calm. "No, but he is," she said, nodding. Toward Alex, "His DNA is part of Kael. He's not just a carrier. He's a father." The hunter paused. "Then he must surrender too?" Kael began to cry, high-pitched and strange. Energy swirled around him like wind. Rocks lifted from the ground, floating, shaking. "Glowing too late," Nira said. "He's choosing now." Kael's cry turned into a sound no baby should make. A sharp pulse of light burst from his body. The hunter flew backward, crashing into the tunnel wall, armor sparking. Alex pulled Nira down and shielded them both with his body. The wind stopped. The light faded. Silence returned. Alex looked up. Kael was floating in the air, eyes glowing gold. Then slowly, gently, he lowered back into Nira's arms and yawned. The hunter was gone, her armor melted and empty, no body. Just dust. Alex stared in disbelief. What did he just do? Nira whispered. He made a choice. He chose life. Not fear. Alex reached over and touched Kael's hand. This time he didn't get thrown back. Instead, he felt warmth. Calm and something else. A connection, deep and strong, not forced by science. Not written in code, but real. As they walked deeper into the tunnel, Nira whispered to the baby, "They will come again. But next time, you won't be alone." And Alex, holding his pack and walking beside them, knew he would never walk alone again either. The tunnel opened to a shattered world. Alex pushed aside the rusted door at the far end. In cold night air, rushed in like a warning, they stood at the edge of the broken city, skyscrapers in ruins, fires glowing far in the distance. The stars above were hidden by black smoke and red flashes. Behind them, the tunnel collapsed without warning, as if it had served its purpose, as if it knew they had no way back. Alex held his plasma pistol tightly. Scanning the streets, Nira cradled Kael, who had fallen asleep again, but even in his dreams, the child shimmered faintly with golden light. His tiny body pulsed with silent power. Where now? Alex asked. Nira pointed toward a cluster of ruins ahead. There's an old rebel outpost beneath the burned library. We can hide there. They moved quickly, staying low, stepping over cracked roads and fallen signs. The air smelled like melted metal and ash. Somewhere in the distance, machines growled, search drones. Suddenly a flash of red light swept across the street in front of them. A patrolling eyebot hovered down from the sky, scanning for movement. Alex pulled Nira into an alley and pushed them against the wall. They held their breath. Even Kael, asleep, seemed to sense the danger. The drone paused. Its lens glowed red, then blue, then beep beep. Unauthorized genetic signal detected. Commence capture mode. The drone fired a shot. A net of electric threads flew toward them, but before it could touch them, Kael stirred. In his sleep, he raised one small hand, and the net stopped in midair, frozen like a glitch in time, then slowly unraveled into dust. The drone blinked, then exploded. A small, controlled burst, no fire, no sound. Just gone, Alex whispered. He didn't even wake up. Nira's voice trembled. His instincts are protecting us now, but in the sky, other lights had turned red. More drones were coming faster now. They knew. They sprinted across the street, through flame-lit alleys and broken doors, past hollow homes and burned-out cars. Kael glowed brighter with every step, like a signal flare they couldn't turn off. Suddenly, the ground shook. A dropship roared overhead, dark and silent. It released 6 tall figures in black, each one armed, each one moving without sound. Alex shouted, "Move!" They ducked into the library ruins, books and beams scattered like bones. The floor beneath them gave way on purpose. A trapdoor opened, and they fell. They landed hard in an old underground shelter. Lights flickered on dim but warm screens, lit up, showing the city above from old security feeds. And one voice echoed through the shelter speaker, "You finally made it." A shadow stepped out of the dark, an old human man with scars on his face and a rifle in hand. Alex raised his gun. "Who are you?" The man smiled faintly. "Name's Captain Veron. Retired. But not blind. I've been watching the skies, watching the signals." "And watching him," he said, nodding toward Kael. Nira narrowed her eyes. "You knew about him?" Veron nodded slowly. "They call him a threat, a weapon, a codebreaker, but I see a child with the power to rewrite the war." Alex lowered his weapon slowly. "We don't want a war," Veron chuckled. "Then you're in the wrong galaxy, son." Just then a loud thud above them. The enemy had found the entrance. The shelter shook. As metal doors were torn apart, Alex grabbed Kael and held him tight. Nira placed her hand on the baby's chest and whispered something in her native tongue. Kael's eyes opened again, calm, glowing, ancient. "I won't let them take him," Alex said, voice firm. Captain Varen handed him a fresh plasma rifle. "Then let's make them regret trying." Outside, the fires of the city blazed. But underground, a spark of hope was preparing to fight back. Not with armies, not with hate, but with something more powerful. A child who should never have existed, protected by a woman who escaped hell, and a human who had no idea he'd become. A father of the future. The night didn't end with silence. It ended in fire, light, and a choice. From beneath the city, Captain Varan's old bunker shook with the force of a battle it wasn't built to survive. Walls cracked, lights flickered. But deep inside, Alex stood firm, rifle in hand, body between the enemy and Kael. The child was calm in Nira's arms, glowing like a small star. His eyes watched everything. "Without fear, I think he knows what's coming," Alex whispered. Nira nodded. "He always does. But now, he waits for us to decide." Above them, the enemy was close. Machines, soldiers, cold orders from unseen commanders, all for one. Child born of stolen blood and mother's love, a child who should never have existed. And now held the power to change everything. Captain Varen activated the lift at the back of the bunker. Old escape route.
Ow.
Leads to the edge of Sector 5. After that, you're on your own. Alex looked up at the shaking ceiling. "What? About you?" Varen smiled sadly. "I've done enough running. Time I hold the door for someone worth saving." The lift opened. Time was up. Alex stepped in first. Nira beside him. Kael cradled gently in her arms. Just before the doors closed, Varen gave a short salute. "Raise him well," and turned back to the hallway with his gun ready. Seconds later, the world. Above exploded in white light. The lift rattled upward, slow but steady in the quiet. Nira looked down at the child. "He's not just surviving anymore," she said softly. "He's choosing." Kael looked at Alex, his eyes glowing brighter now. He reached out, fingers small but steady. Alex took his hand, expecting another energy pulse, but there was none. Instead, he felt warmth. Memories not his own, of darkness, of pain, of running. And then, of a man opening a door in the rain, of safety, of hope. The lift stopped, opening into moonlight. A small forest grove waited outside the wrecked city. The air was clean, cool, and quiet. Birds chirped. No drones, no fire, just peace for now. They stepped out. Alex turned to Nira. "We made it." She looked down at Kael and smiled. "For now." They found a cave to rest in for the night. Alex lit a small fire while Nira rocked Kael gently. The baby's glow had faded to a soft pulse, like a heartbeat, and for the first time, slept like a real child. Alex sat nearby, watching them. "I don't know what comes next," he admitted. "I was just a man with a broken past. Quiet life. And now I'm part of something." Huge Nira looked at him, her face soft. "You didn't run," she said. "You didn't ask for proof. You didn't give him away?" She stood and walked to him. Placing the sleeping baby in his arms, "He trusts you." Alex looked down at Kael. So small, yet so powerful, so strange, yet so human, he whispered. "Do you think I can do this?" Nira nodded. "Because you already are." As the fire crackled, Alex gently held Kael against his chest. And something shifted inside him, not fear, not confusion, but certainty. Not because of blood, not because of DNA, but because this child needed him. And because despite everything, he wanted to be there. To teach him, guide him, protect him, to raise him not as a weapon, but as a soul. As dawn painted the sky with soft light, Kael opened his eyes, yawned, and smiled. Alex smiled back and whispered, "I'm your father, Kael. For real. Always." And in that moment, beneath broken stars and a wounded sky, the galaxy didn't change through war, or machines or commands from above. It changed through a choice, a human's heart, and the smallest hand ever held in his.